So hello guys and welcome back to the second video of this 8 videos long series where me, who is accompanied by Mr. Charbel Coorey, the owner of CricBlog, will be analyzing all the IPL teams one by one. In the last video, we talked about the Mumbai Indians, and in this video, we shall be talking about the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Right, so jumping into the video, SRH this season, when I look at them on paper at least, they don't give me a lot of confidence. Let's begin from the auction. They got Mitchell Marsh for about 2 crores, I guess, at base price. What can be the thought process behind buying Mitchell Marsh? Because at least to me, doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's probably similar to what Australia feel about Mitchell Marsh, and that's potential. You know, he can hit a long ball and can bowl a few good overs and take wickets and can offer you that balance. But where does he fit in the Sunrisers Hyderabad squad? Is he in their best 11? I'm not exactly sure, because you've got David Warner, of course, and Johnny Bairstow, that crucial opening partnership. They're your 2 overseas players at the top. You've got Rashid Khan, he's your 3rd. So they're 3 givens. Do you go with Mohammad Nabi as the 4th overseas player? You probably do. Which I don't exactly know where that leaves Mitch. Can he offer value throughout the season? It is a long season, so he might come in and be handy in a few games there, because at his best, he can be pretty damaging. But the challenge for Mitch and the hope for Sunrisers Hyderabad is that he delivers that on a regular basis.
Yeah, as per me, because they let go of Shakib Al Hasan, so you might argue that, okay, he is a replacement for Shakib, but then they also got Fabian Allen, who is a more like
I was going to mention that.
Replacement for Shakib Al Hasan and not Mitchell Marsh. So I'm not particularly sure why Mitchell Marsh. Maybe he adds a bit value with the ball, especially now since the IPL is in UAE, but with the bat, he doesn't give me a lot of confidence. So that's about Mitchell Marsh. Fabian Allen.
It's just the consistency.
So Fabian Allen is, I believe he's a good buy. He is a ferocious finisher, the slow left-arm orthodox, and he's a utility player in T20 cricket, who I believe is a very fine acquisition to the Sunrisers Hyderabad squad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you only had to look last year in the CPL and some of the innings and the knocks that he played down the order. His stroke play and the versatility he provides with the ball as well. That's a good pickup, and I think he can be a good squad member throughout the season. So if you don't play Mohammad Nabi, would you play Fabian Allen over Mitchell Marsh? It depends mainly on the conditions, but you might be tempted to. So Sunrisers Hyderabad will have a key decision to make there.
Yeah, and the thing that they did well at the auction was they got Indian talent. They got Virat Singh, who was the leading run scorer in the domestic tournament, Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy for Jharkhand, his state team. They also got Abdul Samad, the power hitter. He is someone who, he has a strong base against pace bowling, and he smacks spin as well. So they have tried to work upon the Indian core of the squad. They also got Priyam Garg, the under-19 captain of the Indian team. So that's one aspect where I feel they have done well, if not this season, at least for the future. So that's one aspect where I believe SRH has done well. So they're playing 11. The middle order looks quite fragile to me.
I agree. Like last season, I think a lot depends on the openers.
Absolutely.
And they might not even have David Warner for the start of the tournament if he's in England. Because Australia could be playing the limited over series in England during September. So if they don't have him, Kane Williams then will come into the side and open probably with Johnny Bairstow. Or Bairstow might be playing as well in England actually. So
actually,
they might have a little bit of an issue there, Sunrisers. So they're going to need runs at the top somehow. Their Indian core, the youngster Priyam Garg, he's got a huge role to play potentially this season. And in terms of, what he contributes, and I think Manish Pandey as well.
Vijay Shankar as well.
Vijay Shankar, I think that Indian core that you mentioned earlier, they have to step up to the core this season if they are going to do well. Because if they don't produce in the middle order, I think you're going to find what happened last season. They're going to struggle to win games if their openers don't get their huge runs.
Absolutely.
So I think that's crucial for them. Yeah.
Talking about their strengths, obviously their opening pair is probably the best in the tournament. Rashid Khan is a strength in himself. I mean, like, he's a one-man army. And their power play bowling looks like a strength to me. You have Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, you have somebody like Khalil Ahmed. These guys are fine in the power play, but their death bowling does not give me
That's
a lot
a
of
problem.
confidence. Like, exactly. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is not the same Bhuvaneshwar Kumar as he was in, let's say, 2016. I've got to start over here. Since 2018, Bhuvaneshwar's economy rate at the death is 10.4. So, I
Wow.
mean, he's becoming a knuckleball merchant. I've been reading a lot about this on Twitter, bowling those knuckleballs. Whoever is playing for SRH ends up bowling the knuckleballs. And which is the reason why in my 11, neither one of Mitchell Marsh, Fabian Allen, and Mohammad Nabi, neither one of them play. I'll rather play Billy Stanley because he's quick, a hit the deck bowler,
Interesting.
provides variety, and yeah, I agree that shortens the batting a bit. You have a longer tail. You have Rashid Khan at number 7, but I feel that their bowling department needs a bit more look at rather than their middle order. I'll maybe trust the likes of Virat Singh at number 4, Vijay Shankar at 5, Abdul Samad at 6, but I feel that their bowling is something which needs more attention than their middle order.
I mean, potentially, because that's a big call, because I think they need a bit more power in that middle order, which is where I'd maybe go with one of those all-rounders who can offer you some good overs as well with the ball. I think going back on your knuckleball point, you've got to go with the Yorker has to be the number one delivery you go for at the death. You cannot beat a good Yorker. You bowl a good Yorker, like Jasprit Bumrah does, like Mitchell Starc. They're hard to get away at the death. Why? Because they've got the Yorker in their repertoire. And that's where Sunrisers Hyderabad have got to focus on this season. Get the ball nice and full at the stumps at the death, and then you can afford to play an all-rounder in the middle order if they can get that part of their game right. Billy Stanley, for me, I think the last year or two, I don't know what his economy rate is on the top of my head, but he has been quite expensive in T20 cricket. The Big Bash last season, he was expensive. Maybe on the UAE tracks, he might be harder to get away, potentially, but will Billy Stanley inspire the confidence to take Sunrisers Hyderabad to the next level? We'll just have to wait and see, but I'm not 100% sure yet that I'd have Billy Stanley over an all-rounder in the middle order that can help boost their batting as well.
I agree with you somewhere, but even if we play, let's say, Mohammad Nabi, there has been a big decline in his batting. And it's not that Rashid Khan cannot finish games. I feel that SRH is not utilizing Rashid Khan's potential with the bat properly by sending him somewhere down the order at 8, 9. He is capable enough to bat at number 7 and finish games for SRH. I agree that if he's batting at 7, the tail is a little longer, but I feel that they just need to trust Rashid Khan over there, along with Abdul Samad, who is rated quite highly in the domestic circuit. I feel that they just need to trust those two over there, give them a long run. And the reason why I want to play Billy Stanley is that in UAE, as you said, hit the deck bowling will not be particularly easy to get away with. I was looking up for Billy Stanley's T20I record in UAE. Even though the sample size is small, he has played just some 3 games or something. He has picked up 7 wickets at a very decent economy rate. So I'll gamble upon Billy Stanley because he gives that extra dimension to the bowling attack. And
potentially,
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, as mentioned, he's becoming a knuckleball merchant. And it's not that he does not have the Yorker. He has the Yorker, but he's not utilizing it often. It's just
that's right. He used to be fantastic at the death. So, look, that's an option for Sunrisers to go with Billy Stanley in their 11, but it puts a big onus on that top order to perform well if they're going to be competitive this season. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think it'll be very interesting to see how they go and what approach they go with.
Yeah, they have a couple of options. They can tinker around with that 11 over there. They have, talking about their squad, they don't have a backup for Billy Stanley. They have no backup. They have no overseas pacer except for Billy Stanley, which maybe suggests that yes, they are not looking at Billy Stanley as an option. I have kept him in my 11, but I am not expecting Sunrisers to play him. Let's see what they do. And apart from that, there is this one thing that I pretty honestly believe with SRH this season, individual brilliance will take them home in most of the games.
Agreed.
It will either be Warner stepping up, maybe Bairstow, maybe Rashid Khan, but I don't see them kind of playing as a team and qualifying for the playoffs. Individual brilliance,
I think
they will rely upon that.
Yeah, I think when you compare them with a team like Mumbai, for example, who've got a great team, a great
Exactly.
Great togetherness, and the team, they know how each of their players play and they know how to work to their strengths. I'm not exactly sure if Sunrisers Hyderabad know exactly what their best 11 is. I mean, the points you brought up and the points I've brought up showcases that. So
exactly, yeah.
The key for Sunrisers is that they've got to nail their first 11 very quickly, I think, back their players, and hopefully for them get a reward very early, because if they start the season poorly, I don't know if they'll be able to come back.
Fair enough point over there. And also the curious case of Kane Williamson. Does he find a place in the 11?
Yeah, that's the hard part. I mean, if you want to play Billy Stanley or, an all-rounder, Kane Williamson doesn't find a spot if there's Bairstow and Warner opening, which is a strange one because 2 years ago he was the top run scorer in the competition. He was incredible. Now he might not find a spot. It's a challenging one for Hyderabad.
If they kind of include Kane Williamson, their side becomes quite one-dimensional. So, I mean, many fans would argue, SRH fans, that yes, Kane Williamson must be in the team. He's, a good batsman and this and that. I already have been in those kind of debates, but if you look at the team composition, Kane Williamson does not actually find a place in the team. I'll have Manish Pandey at number 3, who plays a similar role, not as good as Williamson, but a similar role. And then they must back the Indian core, as I mentioned, Virat Singh, Abdul Samad and Vijay Shankar over there. They have no other option to go about.
It's very hard, because then the other parts of your team really suffer. If you can play Williamson, they're a world-class player. I'm not denying that, but it's the team balance that matters most at the end of the day, and how do you fit him in the team and make sure that your team balance is spot on at the end of the day. I think that's number one priority for Sunrisers.
Exactly, and playoff chances look slim.
I think when you look at the competitiveness of the IPL and how many teams on their day, can make the top 4, I probably have Sunrisers just missing out. It's hard, just because of the sheer competitiveness and how many teams on the day can make it, and they just look a little bit short in key areas. But that being said, the likes of Warner and Best, they can go crazy and they can win games for them. And they've got the likes of Rashid Khan, who can produce magic, and Bhuvaneshwar at his best can produce wonders. And I mean, Khalil Ahmed last year, he took 19 wickets in 9 games from memory.
All of a sudden,
he can take wickets. So look, if they can fire and have a really strong core, 11, they're a chance. But they're going to need that individual brilliance, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, looks tough for me. The middle order, the ones to follow after the opening combination, they must step up. If they don't,
that's the challenge.
Exactly.
That's the challenge. Yeah.
If they don't, SRH will be in some serious trouble. So yeah, I guess we have mentioned all the points. We have covered the Sunrisers Hyderabad, and yeah, I guess that's it for this video. So that was about the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Do let us know what you feel in the comment section below. It's all yours. And right, see you in the next video where we shall be analyzing the Whistle Podu, MS Dhoni's Chennai Super Kings. See ya.